Twitter has hired a law firm suing Elon Musk, demanding that he complete the $44 billion acquisition of the social media business. We'll get a lawyer's perspective here. We'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Sandra Spurgeon, an undefeated trial attorney with more than 120 state and federal cases successfully litigated. She's the author of Courage to Stand, Mastering Trial Strategies and Techniques in the Courtroom. Counselor, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nigel. How are you today?
I think I'm doing great. Thank you. And I think this is incredibly fascinating from the word go. Twitter hired a law firm. They're going to sue Elon Musk. Big picture, 30,000 foot, and then we can drill down a little bit. What are you seeing taking place here?
Well, what I see is maneuvering. Elon Musk is certainly unpredictable. I mean, he agreed to pay $54.20 per share back in April, but most importantly, he waived his right of due diligence. Any business person who is thinking of an acquisition, they bring in teams of accountants and with this being a social media platform, would have looked at algorithms, would have looked at the number of bots and been able to independently verify the information. And for whatever reason, Elon Musk agreed to this deal and forwent the right of due diligence. And so now, once they agreed to the deal, he's saying, wait a minute, we think you have falsified the information to the SEC. So he's really trying to backdoor his way into due diligence.
So you're saying he could have brought up the issue of bots before he made the offer and then made the offer, and now, but because he kind of willy-nilly threw that number out there, the 420 joke, whatever, now Twitter's saying, too little, too late, you made the offer. Because that's right. That's the issue. That's the whole issue right here, is the issue of bots on the Twitter platform. And I would say, just from the outside looking in, Twitter estimates of the spam accounts probably are very good, but like you said, Musk knew that prior to making the deal?
Well, he decided to forego, he waived his right to due diligence. Okay. And so typically what they would have done is to have had his investigation team be able to request the information and get a representation from Twitter, or to do their own inquiry into the media platform as to the percentage of bots. Any
theories as to why he didn't do that before? Maybe just because it's Elon Musk and he's eccentric, and this is maybe some sort of quasi-stunt? Well,
Elon is unpredictable, right? And they're dealing with, zeros in which most of us can only dream of. But the issue really is that if either side terminated the deal, there was a $1 billion penalty. So the question is that if they can't come to an agreement, does he owe Twitter $1 billion? But for having an inside glimpse into the litigation world, anytime there's an insurance policy over $1 million, just because I may go and get a $7, $8, $10 million judgment, that does not mean that someone's happily going to write a check.
Yeah.
What they typically do is that they set it up for appeal. They tell you they're going to appeal it. They have the money to put up the bond, because typically you have to post the amount of the judgment or percentage of the judgment plus interest, and certainly Twitter would have no problem in doing that. And so, but in cases like that, typically what they do is that they force it through litigation. In this case, it's not a trial by jury. It would be a bench trial, and it is Delaware has a respected business court. So if they can't force a resolution through mediation, then there would be try it to this judge, and so then there would be a judgment, and then that's when the real negotiations begin. And there's some theory of thought that really what he's trying to do is drive down the price per share that he's going to pay for Twitter.
And so we're speaking with attorney Sandra Spurgeon here on the Hammer and Nigel Show, talking about Elon Musk and the Twitter lawsuit. So, I mean, in theory, so I guess my question is, some law experts are saying that Twitter has sounder legal footing here. Who has the upper hand here when it comes to this lawsuit?
Well, you know, Elon Musk brings an interesting twist to this, because if he is able to establish through discovery that the percentage of bots, automated bots, is much higher than the disclosure or the representation that Twitter made to the SEC, you understand there's potential criminal and civil penalties.
Oh, wow.
If they intentionally underestimated, if they knew that there was if they knew that they intentionally underestimated the disclosure to the SEC, then you bring the feds in. So there's heavy leverage there if the percentage of bots is so much higher than Twitter represented to the SEC, and if there's smoking guns in terms of emails, et cetera, to show that the Twitter executives knew. I mean, it could be a very messy outcome for Twitter if he's able to get to the discovery.
I didn't even think about that. They're the ones filing the lawsuit, and they could be stepping on their own tongues here. I mean, having to expose, say, like you say, the real number of spam accounts, and even the Twitter algorithms that are so talked about, especially in right-wing media, where there may have been talk of suppressing some political views while elevating others.
Right. Well, and the thing is the question is, does he have standing to sue when he waived his right of due diligence?
Yes.
And so then I would imagine that he says, you know, as a citizen, he has a right to rely upon the filings of a corporation made with the SEC. So there's going to be a year or so of gamemanship in determining whether he even has as to whether he had standing to challenge when he waived the right of due diligence. That was a significant, in my opinion, sidestep, but maybe that it was an intentional sidestep because they know the leverage that they have if it is a significant percentage above and beyond the 5%. What is the SEC likely to do?
And you think this is, I heard you mention a year or so. That's how long you think this is going to take? I mean, I was thinking 4 to 6 months, but it's probably longer than that to get this all worked out.
Oh, I'm talking about the motion to dismiss.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
This could go on 3 to 4 years. This is not something that's going to be resolved quickly. This is going to be something, and the initial filings are going to be motions to dismiss. I'm sure that standing is going to be one of the issues that is raised because he waived his right of due diligence. And then it's going to be up to the judge to determine and look at the legal case precedent. And this is by far one of the largest cases in this country's history.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is the judge? I mean, the judges look at precedent, but is there precedent to draw on in this situation? Have there been any examples of buyers being actually forced to follow through with purchases?
Well, you know, Delaware, Fortune 500 companies, 60% of Fortune 500 companies are incorporated in Delaware, all right? And over half of publicly traded companies, because they are very favorable to businesses in the state of Delaware. So, yes, there is legal case. I mean, there is precedent for this type of suit being filed, but the president really stopped short from the standpoint that those cases have resolved before it got to judgment.
We are speaking with Sandra Spurgeon, undefeated trial attorney, talking about Elon Musk and the Twitter lawsuit. Before we let you go, you have, what's your book about, The Courage to Stand?
Courage to Stand is really about, from my standpoint, is about a young girl growing up in eastern Kentucky, having the courage to go to law school and having the courage to be, during my era, being one of the few female attorneys in my state, my home state of Kentucky. But then it has a different take. I mean, Courage to Stand is, a lot of people say that they're trial attorneys, but it's takes a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work and sacrifice for for an attorney to be a trial lawyer. My second book is coming out in August or September, and it's called Surviving Greatness, and it's really a dedication of my life to the public, talking about the trials and the tribulations that we all experience in life, and bringing us back to, through those trials and tribulations, realizing how great we are and finding your purpose in life. So I hope you read it. I'm excited. I've just got off the phone with my publisher,
Awesome.
And we think it's going to be a great read.
Well, it sounds like you, Miss Spurgeon, Counselor Spurgeon, in this show might have years of a relationship down the road with updates and things with this trial. I hope we can call you again soon for an update. It's been fascinating. I really appreciate you being on with us here in Indianapolis.
Call me anytime. It's been great.